That's very intimidating.
I'm gonna pass.
So we are radiation oncologists. I'm Dr. Brad, I'm the attending. Dr. Greenberg is my resident. You are going to see a lot of doctors, but we work together, Dr. Judy, us, and probably someone for the chemo, medical oncology, we see you too. We see him too. So unfortunately, we don't have a lot of information to give you today. We don't know the pathology. We just know the MRI findings right before the surgery. Seems to be pretty extensive process. Nearly probably the whole right side of the brain is involved. So Dr. Judy did take out some of these in the process, and we'll have the pathology usually in 1 or 2 weeks.
We were confused about something.
Yeah.
Which was, we thought that Dr. Judy uses terminology like he took out a tumor.
Yeah.
But then we had heard that we weren't sure, there was wasn't a determination whether it was cancerous or inflammation. How could it be inflammation if you're taking out a tumor?
Well, so there's something abnormal, right? So tumor for us may be a benign process, right? Or maybe something which is malignant, right? We don't know yet. It looks like it's something malignant. But even for malignant process, there are different grades, right? It may be very low grade, it may be very high grade, which behaves more aggressively, it may be something in the middle. So honestly, we don't really know.
Right.
We don't really know. So really, I apologize, I don't really have a clear plan. I don't really have a lot of information. I know you are very anxious to know in the future. But we have to send the tissue to the pathology. They do a lot of testing, genetic testing, different staining of the tissue. And once we have a clear understanding, then we'll bring him back. Hopefully he will recover well in the coming 1 or 2 weeks. We see the patient all together in a Monday morning clinic, and that everyone is present. We, radiation oncology, Dr. Judy comes to the morning, meeting when we go over the imaging or go over the pathology, and then we have a plan, and then we come and see the patient, the family, and discuss, this is what we have found, this is what we do recommend, and then based on how is he doing, we see. We may have clinical trials open here, right? For him, really depends on what the pathology will show us.
Makes sense.
In terms of the MRI and the probability based on what you see in your experience, and I don't want you to have to answer this question because, as you say, we don't know the pathology. Is there a high probability, in your opinion, given the pattern that you see? Is it consistent with, or you can't really answer that?
I mean, it seems, based on the MRI, it seems to be more extensive than, usually we see, meaning involving a lot of big areas, a lot of lobes in the right side. How much of this is real tumor, as you have mentioned, or is maybe only edema or swelling? We don't know yet.
Yeah, right.
There are not a lot. There actually were not enhancing areas, meaning some of these very malignant processes may take a lot of contrast, like gadolinium, which is injected when the patient have the MRI. So there are not a lot of these areas having these kind of very high grade feature. So maybe a kind of lower grade of something, a process starting in the brain, and this is why we don't see these areas on the MRI. But again, it's only the MRI. Without the pathology, MRI doesn't mean much, right? So once we have the pathology and we look at the MRI, they are probably going to do another MRI within 24 hours from the surgery to see how much was taken out, what's going on in this area, what was left behind, and then we have everyone present when we'll bring him back in our clinic. Radiology will look at the MRI. Dr. Judy will tell us exactly what he found when he opened, the skull. The pathologist will be present and let us know exactly this is what is the diagnosis, and we'll see him how is he recovering, and then we'll really have a clear plan.
Got it.
Okay.
That all happens when the pathology comes back.
Right, and after he's recovered. So usually what we're just talking about, usually people are recovering within a few days. Amazingly, they are doing very well, and then they can be transferred. The next step would be probably to go to rehab if they believe that he will benefit from some rehab work, and then go home, and from home they come back to us.
He should go to rehab because it's just the two of us at home.
And,
I can,
no
don't
worries.
think I can handle him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's
So
too big for me.
They will not let you go home if he's not well.
Okay.
So there's a case manager, and they are working to see the options and discuss with your family exactly what's going on. Dr. Judy is also going to guide them. Really depends on how is he going to recover.
Right.
So that's a really big question. Because some people are doing very poorly, right? And even if we may say, oh,
He's a
we want
fighter. He's a
that's
fighter.
good. That's what I'm saying. Some of the cases, even if we want to be aggressive, want to put the patient in clinical trial, sometimes the patient are not doing well, you know, and then we are limited in what we can offer, right? So, but again, it's early to say. Most of the people do recover well. They go to rehab and then come back to us from rehab or from home. But no one will send him home in a kind of such a situation if you cannot really handle at home. You know what I mean? So there's a case manager, they will take care of this, they will speak with you, they will meet with you. We'll not really just send him home, you know, without really taking care of what's going on, how is the family doing, are they able to handle what's going on with the patient, is he well enough, you know what I mean? All these questions should be answered before the patient is sent home.
Very helpful. Very
You
helpful.
offer any transportation from home to here?
Also, first of all, if he's in rehab, there's an ambulance bringing him back to us to see how he's recovering, if he's even a candidate for aggressive treatment, or what can we offer once we have the pathology back. If he's coming from home, where do you live?
Williamstown.
South
New
Jersey.
How many miles from here?
It's 18, 19.
We figure out how can we help.
Okay.
If it's we do use Uber, but only for people living close by. We have some shuttles to bring the patient from farther places. But we have an office, you know, and they will figure out how to do it.
There's going to be a case manager who will figure all that stuff out,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Do you have a card?
Unfortunately, I don't have my. All my office is across the street, and it's cold. I didn't bring my white coat. But do you have a car by chance?
Unfortunately, no.
Well,
do you
drop
have
one off when you get a chance.
I can write down our names.
Yeah,
if
you
that
don't
works.
want to write that, yeah. Well, no worries. We put a note in the system. They will have our names, you know, and when we be discharged, my name will be there. And you have a number to call. And our person actually bring the patient back for our clinic. It's really, really good, and she's going to call you. She's really very thorough. She's going to call you probably next week once we know exactly how is he recovering and where is he going. And then she will really, she's excellent. She will call you, take care of all the transportation and everything for you. And they will have all the names.
My two daughters are handling it.
Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll do it. Don't worry about it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Again, I don't believe we should be worried right now about our office's number. We are going to leave them here, but the first step is really for him to recover. What's the next step? Where is he going? Rehab, and how is, again, everything is how is he going to be doing. Okay?
Thank
And
you guys.
again, if you want to talk about a radiation or something from me, I'm sorry that I don't have the card. You may ask the primary team. They can look into the system and they may page me and they call me.
Here's
Alright,
one
so
final
it's
question for you.
Nowadays, it's very easy.
Assuming radiation, right, is a
Yeah.
potential solution, we were told by another team in New Jersey that someone of his age, it's basically not worth it. Is that part of what
Let's
you'll
check to
figure
see
out?
what's the problem.
Yeah.
You know, depends what are we dealing with, right? So I don't really. It will be a very large area.
Mhm.
So it's not a small area. If the MRI findings are real, right? The problem is if you don't do anything, sometimes it's worse. You know what I mean? So it really depends. If he's looking good and he's recovering well, sometimes it's worth it to take the chance to
Try it,
have a
to try it.
radiation, just to help you for a while.
So that would grow back, correct?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we need,
So
we need
we
a
have to
exactly,
pathology.
we need a pathology before some. If some the very low grade tumors, right? They may grow very slow, you know, and I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know yet what's the problem.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Sure,
you
no
very
problem.
much.
But we'll guide you. And if it's a problem, I don't know if you live close to Kennedy.
In Washington Township.
Is this Kennedy close? Kennedy Hospital close to you?
It is, but if clearly we want him to have the best care, so if that means we have to come
Yeah.
here, we'll come here every day for 6
we'll guide you
weeks.
exactly, because sometimes, you know, we have actually, Kennedy now is Jefferson, and our colleague from Kennedy is all the time,
Yeah,
you know,
we
with
started
us.
there.
Hmm?
He was there
We
first.
transferred from there to here.
Okay, so you are
Yes.
unhappy, I'm hearing? Okay,
Yeah.
very good. We'll be happy to do everything you need, okay?
Yes.
Got it, all right.